Today we embark on an exploration of the lives of 12 men who walked with Jesus. They were ordinary men, fishermen, tax collectors, some driven by a fiery passion for their beliefs. Yet they were chosen to witness extraordinary events and spread a message that would change the world. Their names, forever etched in history, tell a story of loyalty, doubt, courage, and ultimately unwavering faith. Join me as we delve into the lives of the 12 disciples. Our journey begins with Peter, a man of the sea, known for his impulsive nature as much as his strong faith. Originally named Simon, Jesus gave him the name Peter, meaning rock, signifying the foundation upon which the church would be built. Peter was a man of action, always ready to speak his mind, even if it meant occasionally putting his foot in his mouth. But beneath his gruff exterior resided a heart full of love for Jesus. His faith, though tested, never wavered, even when fear led him to deny Jesus 3 times. He learned from his mistakes, ultimately becoming a pillar of strength for the early Christians. Andrew, Peter's brother, possessed a quiet strength, often overshadowed by his brother's boisterous personality. Yet it was Andrew, the Bible tells us, who was the first to be called as a disciple. Like Peter, Andrew was a fisherman, accustomed to casting nets into the vast sea. But Andrew cast a different kind of net, one that drew men towards the light of Jesus' teachings. He is remembered for his humility, always eager to bring others to Jesus, content to work behind the scenes. Andrew's life reminds us that faith doesn't always shout from the mountaintops. Sometimes it whispers, gently leading others towards the divine. James, the son of Zebedee, was a fisherman by trade, just like his brother John. They worked alongside Peter and Andrew, casting their nets into the Sea of Galilee. When Jesus called out, "Come, follow me," James and John didn't hesitate. They left their nets and their father to follow Jesus. This immediate response revealed a yearning for something more. James and John were passionate, earning them the nickname Sons of Thunder. Their fiery nature spoke to their unwavering commitment and deep love for Jesus. James transformed from a fisherman into a bold proclaimer of the good news. He witnessed miracles and absorbed teachings that shaped his life. As the first martyr among the apostles, James faced death with unwavering faith. His execution ignited the flames of the burgeoning Christian movement. James's life serves as a testament to the transformative power of faith. He traded the sea for the unpredictable waters of following Jesus. James, the son of thunder, became a beacon of courage, reminding us that true discipleship demands great sacrifice. Among the 12 disciples chosen by Jesus, John held a unique position. Referred to as the disciple whom Jesus loved, John shared an intimate bond with the Messiah. This special relationship wasn't about favoritism. It was about a profound spiritual connection, a resonance of heart and mind that echoed throughout John's life and writings. John, the younger brother of James, was also a fisherman, hailing from the shores of Galilee. When Jesus called him, he responded with the same immediacy as his brother, leaving behind the familiar to embrace the unknown. This leap of faith marked the beginning of a journey that would lead John to the very heart of Jesus' ministry. Throughout the Gospels, we see John as a constant presence by Jesus' side. He was there for the intimate moments, the private teachings, and the miraculous displays of divine power. Unlike his brother James, known for his fiery temperament, John exuded a different kind of strength. His was a quieter, more contemplative spirit. He absorbed Jesus' teachings with a deep, reflective intensity, becoming a vessel for the profound messages of love, compassion and light that defined Jesus' ministry. After Jesus' ascension, John continued to play a pivotal role in the burgeoning Christian community. He emerged as a pillar of strength and wisdom, guiding the early church through persecution and uncertainty. He penned 5 books of the New Testament, the Gospel of John, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, and the Book of Revelation. These writings, imbued with poetic beauty and profound theological depth, offer a unique and intimate portrait of Jesus the Christ, the Son of God. In the tapestry of the 12 disciples, Philip stands out for his practicality. He was a man of logic and reason, always seeking a clear understanding of Jesus' teachings. This desire for clarity, however, didn't diminish his faith. Instead, it led him to ask probing questions, prompting Jesus to delve deeper into the mysteries of the kingdom of God. Philip hailed from Bethsaida, the same town as Peter and Andrew. When Jesus called him with the simple words, "Follow me," Philip didn't hesitate. He immediately sought out his friend Nathanael, proclaiming, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." This simple act reveals a key aspect of Philip's character, his eagerness to share the good news and bring others to Jesus. Throughout the Gospels, we see glimpses of Philip's pragmatic nature. When faced with the challenge of feeding the 5,000, it was Philip who calculated the cost, highlighting the impossibility of the task from a purely logistical standpoint. And yet, when Jesus miraculously multiplied the loaves and fishes, Philip's faith deepened, witnessing firsthand the boundless nature of God's provision. Philip's story reminds us that faith and reason aren't mutually exclusive. His inquisitive nature, his desire to understand, pushed Jesus to reveal deeper truths, enriching the spiritual landscape for all who would listen. Philip's journey teaches us that it's okay to ask questions, to seek understanding, for it is in the seeking that we often find ourselves drawn closer to the divine. In the tapestry of Jesus' disciples, Bartholomew, also known as Nathanael, holds a unique place. He was a man of remarkable honesty and faith, qualities that drew him to Jesus. When Philip first told Nathanael about Jesus of Nazareth, Nathanael was skeptical. "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" he asked. But Philip, true to his mission, simply said, "Come and see." And so Nathanael did come face to face with Jesus. Upon seeing him, Jesus declared, "Here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." These words, spoken with such conviction, must have resonated deeply within Nathanael. Imagine being seen so clearly, your true nature recognized. This encounter with Jesus transformed Nathanael, leading him to confess, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God, you are the King of Israel." Matthew, the tax collector. In those days, tax collectors were often viewed with suspicion, seen as collaborators with the Roman authorities. Yet, Jesus saw something different in Matthew. He saw a man capable of change, a man with a story to tell. And so with a simple invitation, "Follow me," Jesus called Matthew away from his tax booth and into a life of discipleship. Matthew's transformation was profound. He left behind a life of material wealth and embraced a life of service to something far greater. He became one of the 12, a close companion of Jesus, and ultimately the author of the Gospel bearing his name. Matthew's story reminds us that Jesus sees beyond our past into the depths of our potential. Thomas, often remembered as Doubting Thomas, stands as a testament to the human need for evidence, for tangible proof in matters of faith. When Jesus appeared to the disciples after the resurrection, Thomas was absent. The others told him of their encounter, but Thomas refused to believe without seeing for himself. He needed to touch the wounds, to see the evidence with his own eyes. A week later, Jesus reappeared, this time with Thomas present. Understanding Thomas's need for proof, Jesus invited him to touch his wounds, saying, "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Thomas, overwhelmed with emotion and realization, responded with one of the most powerful confessions of faith in the Bible, "My Lord and my God." Thomas's journey reminds us that doubt can be a stepping stone to a deeper, more profound faith. The apostles, those 12 men chosen by Jesus, weren't always the most famous figures during their lifetimes. Some, like James the Less, remain shrouded in a bit of mystery even today. We know him from the lists of the 12 mentioned in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark and Luke, but details of his life are scarce. He's often referred to as James the Less or James the Younger to distinguish him from the other James, the brother of John. Some scholars believe this distinction might relate to age, with James the Less perhaps being younger. Others speculate it could be about height, a point of physical comparison. Despite the lack of extensive biographical information, we can glean insights into James the Less through his connection with Jesus. As one of the 12, he witnessed firsthand the miracles, heard the teachings, and experienced the challenges of following the path laid out by Jesus. Imagine the conversations around the dinner table, the questions asked, the faith tested. Though history whispers his name softly, His presence among the 12 reminds us that faith isn't always about prominence or grand pronouncements. Sometimes it's about the quiet dedication, the unwavering belief, and the simple act of showing up day after day, as James the Less undoubtedly did. The Bible, a tapestry of stories and teachings, often presents us with individuals known by multiple names. Thaddeus, one of the 12 apostles, is no exception. In some passages he's referred to as Thaddeus, while in others he's called Jude, or even Jude, not Iscariot, to differentiate him from the disciple who betrayed Jesus. This multitude of names might seem confusing at first, but perhaps it reflects the complexity of human identity. Like the facets of a gemstone catching the light, each name might reveal a different aspect of Thaddeus's character, his lineage, or his role within the group of disciples. Though the scriptures offer limited details about Thaddeus's life, his presence among the 12 speaks volumes. Chosen by Jesus to be part of this inner circle, Thaddeus was likely present for many pivotal moments: the Sermon on the Mount, the feeding of the 5,000, the agonizing hours in the Garden of Gethsemane. And though his voice may not be the loudest in the biblical narrative, his commitment to Jesus' message undoubtedly contributed to the spread of the nascent Christian faith. Thaddeus' story, like many in the Bible, reminds us that even those who receive fewer lines play a crucial role in the grand narrative of faith. Not the Simon you're already familiar with, the one we call Peter. This Simon is known as Simon the Zealot. Now, the Zealots in those days, they weren't exactly known for their patience or their love of Roman rule. They believed in action, in fighting for their freedom, in upholding the law with a fiery passion. So you can imagine the whispers that followed Simon. A zealot walking with the Messiah. Could he temper his fervour? The scriptures don't tell us much about Simon the Zealot, but his presence among the disciples speaks volumes. It hints at the diverse tapestry of people drawn to Jesus' message: fishermen, tax collectors, and yes, even those who had taken up arms against Rome. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What conversations did they have, this band of brothers, so different in their pasts, yet united in their belief? The story of Judas Iscariot is one of the most tragic in all of history. Here was a man, chosen by Jesus himself, entrusted with the same message of love and hope as the others. And yet he's remembered not for his faith, but for his betrayal. 30 pieces of silver, the price Judas agreed to betray his teacher. Imagine the weight of that decision, the darkness that must have crept into his heart. We can speculate on his motives: greed, despair, perhaps even a misguided attempt to force Jesus' hand. But in the end, the consequences were devastating. Judas's betrayal led directly to Jesus' arrest and crucifixion. It's a stark reminder that even within the closest circles, darkness can take root. The story of Judas is a difficult one, but it's a vital part of the narrative. It reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable love and sacrifice, human frailty can have profound and tragic consequences. And so we come to the end of our journey with the 12 disciples. 12 ordinary men, chosen by Jesus to carry his message to the world. They were fishermen and tax collectors, zealots and skeptics. They were flawed and human, capable of great love and unimaginable betrayal. But through it all, their faith in Jesus bound them together. Their stories remind us that greatness can emerge from the most unexpected places, and that even in our imperfections, we too can be instruments of love, hope, and faith. If you found this exploration of the disciples enlightening, tell us about it in the comments below. And if you'd like to delve deeper into the mysteries and wonders of faith, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, may your own journey of faith be filled with purpose and meaning.